Jai Shri friends, today we celebrate the feast of Christ the King. Though this term was introduced in the beginning of the first centuries, but it became popular when Pius XI mentioned it in his first encyclical Ubi Arcono Dei Concilio in the year December 1922. The encyclical was written during the aftermath of World War I. Pope notes that while there had been a cessation of hostilities, there was no true peace. He deplored the rise of class divisions and unbridled nationalism, and held that true peace can only be found under the kingship of Christ as Prince of Peace. For Jesus Christ reigns over the minds of individuals by His teachings, in their hearts by His love, in each one's life by His law, and the imitating of His example. Pope Pius XI instituted the feast in 1925 to remind Christians that their allegiance was to their spiritual ruler in heaven as opposed to earthly supremacy. Later, Pope Benedict XVI remarked that Christ's kingship is not based on human power, but on loving and serving others. The titles of Christ and King are not used together in the Gospel, but Christ is in itself a royal title, which means the anointed king. In the Greek text, Christ is explicitly identified as king several times. In St. Matthew chapter 2 verse 2, where is the newborn king of the Jews? In St. John chapter 18, Pilate refers to the implication that the Christ is a royal title by inquiring explicitly if Jesus claims to be the king of the Jews. Similarly, in St. John chapter 1 verse 49, a follower addresses Jesus as the King of Israel. In the Gospel of St. Luke, the angel Gabriel proclaims to Mary, "Your son will be great and will be called Son of the Most High, and the Lord God will give him the throne of David his father, and he will rule over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there will be no end." Outside the Gospels, the first epistle to Timothy, chapter 6, verse 14 and 15, explicitly applies the phrase King of Kings and Lord of Lords, adapting the Pentateuch's declaration, "For the Lord your God is the God of gods and the Lord of lords," to Jesus Christ. In the book of Revelation 2, it is declared that the Lamb is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. This is, in short, the history of kingship of Jesus. Today, this feast invites us to proclaim Jesus as our King, who has the authority on us, and that is the authority of love. He executes His authority on us through love and service. Humility was the nature of His kingship, and as we celebrate His kingship, let us also follow His humble and loving nature. May the love of the King of Souls take control over us. Once again, a very happy feast of Christ the King.